Narmer was an ancient Egyptian king of the Early Dynastic Period. Probably the successor to the Protodynastic kings Scorpion and Ka, some consider him the unifier of Egypt and founder of the First Dynasty, therefore the first king of a unified Egypt. The identity of Narmer is the subject of ongoing debate, although mainstream Egyptological consensus identifies Narmer with the First Dynasty pharaoh Mens, who is also credited with the unification of Egypt, as the first pharaoh. This conclusion is based on the Narmer Palette, which shows Narmer as the unifier of Egypt, and the two necropolis seals from the necropolis of Abydos that show him as the first king of the First Dynasty. Narmer has been cited as the earliest person whose name is known, though Iry-Hor likely lived 2 generations before Narmer. The approximate date of Narmer Mens is mostly estimated as close to the 31st or 32nd century BCE, although recent Egyptological literature comprises estimates of anywhere between the 34th and the 30th centuries BCE. Reign. The famous Narmer Palette, discovered by James E. Keble in 1898 in Hierakonpolis, shows Narmer displaying the insignia of both Upper and Lower Egypt, giving rise to the theory that he unified the two kingdoms. Since its discovery, it has been debated whether the Narmer Palette represents a historic event or was purely symbolic. In 1993, however, Gar 1/4 Ntila Drea discovered in Abydos a year label of Narmer depicting the same event as that on the Narmer Palette, which clearly shows that the Narmer Palette depicts an actual historic event. The mainstream Egyptological consensus identifying Narmer with Mens is by no means universal. This has ramifications for the agreed history of ancient Egypt. Some Egyptologists hold that Mens is the same person as Iry-Hor and that he inherited an already unified Egypt from Narmer. Others hold that Narmer began the process of unification but either did not succeed or succeeded only partially, leaving it to Mens to complete. Arguments have been made that Narmer is Mens because of his appearance on a mud seal impression found in Abydos in conjunction with the Gamabid hieroglyph for Mn, which appears to be a contemporary record of the otherwise unattested king. Another possible theory is that Narmer was an immediate successor to the king who did manage to unify Egypt, but he adopted symbols of unification that had already been in use for perhaps a generation. 2 necropolis mud ceilings listing kings recently found in the tombs of Den and Kea show Narmer as the founder of the First Dynasty, who was then followed by Iry-Hor. The Kea ceiling shows all 8 kings of the First Dynasty in the correct sequence beginning with Narmer. Mens is not mentioned on either list of kings because at the time the name generally used on the monuments was the Horus name, while Mens was a personal name. His wife is thought to have been Nithhotep, a princess of Lower Egypt. Inscriptions bearing her name were found in tombs belonging to Narmer's immediate successors Iry-Hor and Dra, implying that she was the mother of Iry-Hor. Tomb and artifacts. Narmer's tomb is composed of 2 joined chambers found in the el-Khaib region of Abydos. It is located next to the tomb of Ka, who ruled Upper Egypt just before him. Narmer is well attested throughout Egypt and southern Canaan. In Egypt his sarek has been found at 12 sites, 3 in Upper Egypt, 7 in Lower Egypt, and 1 each in the Eastern Desert, and the Western Desert. During Narmer's reign, Egypt had an active economic presence in southern Canaan. Pottery shards have been discovered at several sites, both from pots made in Egypt and imported to Canaan and others made in the Egyptian style out of local materials. The latter discovery has led to the conclusion that Egypt's presence in Canaan was in the form of a colony rather than just the result of trade. While Egypt's presence in Canaan has been explained as the result of a military invasion, this view is not generally accepted. Fortifications at Tel es-Sakin dating to this period and almost entirely Egyptian in construction suggest a military presence, if not a military invasion. The extent of Egyptian activity in southern Canaan is shown by the discovery of 33 sareks on pottery shards at sites in Canaan dating from the Protodynastic period to the beginning of the First Dynasty. 13 of these belong to Narmer, and came from 6 different sites: Tel Arad, En-Bezer, Tel es-Sakin, Nahaltila, Tel Erani, and Lod. An additional sarek from Lod is attributed to Narmer's probable predecessor, Ka. Significantly only 1 is attributable to Narmer's successors, to Iry-Hor, his immediate successor. The remainder of the sareks either have no name on them or have a name not attributable to any known pharaoh. Narmer's Sarek, along with those of other pre-dynastic and early dynastic kings, has been found at the Wadi Amira in the southern Sinai, where inscriptions commemorate Egyptian mining expeditions to the area. During the summer of 1994, excavators from the Nile Tiller expedition, in southern Israel, discovered an incised ceramic shirt with the Sarek sign of Narmer. The shirt was found on a large circular platform, possibly the foundations of a storage silo on the Halif terrace. Dated to c. 3000 BCE, mineralogical studies of the shirt conclude that it is a fragment of a wine jar which had been imported from the Nile Valley to Canaan. After about 200 years of active presence in Canaan, Egyptian presence peaked during Narmer's reign and quickly declined after that. Gallery of images. See also, List of pharaohs, Narmer Palette, Men's, Thnis. Notes. References. Bibliography.